All right, everybody, this is Enlightened Living. We have a very interesting one to talk about. What do you think about Nithyananda Swamiji and like what's going on with that controversy right now? There's a lot of back and forth on this. What do you think?
What do you mean? What do I think about it?
Where do you stand? There's people thinking that he's, a felon and all these other things, and some people think he's the avatar of God's gift to the world. There's people that are kind of in between. There's people like, what do you think about all this?
About all the uproar right now.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think it, perfectly shows the divide down the middle of what's happening in like the consciousness right now of everything. There's like it's like someone took a knife and just cut it right down the center, and like the ends just like shot to each side. It's like there's a clear divide right now, and most people will jump on one side or the other.
Yeah, it's interesting that made as soon as you said that, it made me think of Pong. Like instantly, like there's two things and it's split across, and there's people bouncing between the two trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening right now. And the spiritual community in general, like everyone keeps saying, is this is happening in the spiritual community in general, but specifically in this Hindu organization, the Nithyananda Hindu organization, one of their recent members came out, and then she has decided that she had a really, really bad experience, and this is how the place really is. It's a cult, and she's going to expose it to the world and make sure no one else makes the same mistake that she did. And then, of course, on the opposite end of that spectrum, you have all the people who are, devotees, that, say that none of it's true, what she's saying. But I'm probably, because I've been to two programs, I guess before I decided to first go to the first program, I already knew there was a big controversy. So I went in aware that this could be a cult, But what is a cult anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like literally like any kind of group or organization where people all think the same or follow the same constructs. So literally
Yeah.
anything, even shopping at J.C. Penney. If you have friends that shop there too, it is a cult.
But that's the thing. Like, the argument now that like, is this a cult? No, it's a cult. It's not a cult. It's like that's kind of a dumb argument because it's like, who the f cares if you want? What do you want to call it? You know?
Yeah.
It's like a diverged attention diversion, which I guess also shows in general just how ridiculous the whole thing is because they're arguing over whether it's a cult or not. But that's one of the arguments. Okay, but yeah. So like I've been to many different types of spiritual like things. I could very easily say that every one of those places could be considered a cult based on how people acted, how they blindly followed like the message of the organization and whatever. So I don't think this organization is really any different. It's a big organization. Maybe that's what makes it different. I don't know. So to me, whether it's a cult or not, it doesn't even like that makes no difference to me. But like I said, I was aware that there were some issues or controversy when I first heard about this Nityananda organization back in, was it 2017, I believe. Um, and I did a lot of research, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and see for myself because there's like so much back and forth to this, and there doesn't seem to be any real clear information here. So I'm just gonna go. Okay, and I can say that afterward, I still don't think I really had a. And then, so I'm not talking about whether it's a cult or not. It's more of the accusations against the leader or Nithyananda himself, whether he is a rapist or not, or and like if I guess now there's some saying that there's some kids beaten up there, um, or child abuse there. So, I don't know. What was your question? Did you have a question? Oh yeah, so that was my first experience. I went to Inner Awakening. Then I learned lots of really, really good things. Like to me, um, I don't have any doubt in my mind that Nithyananda Swamiji is an enlightened being or enlightened person or whatever you want to call him. And I don't know why that's so unreasonable to think that way. I don't know. I met him at the Inner Awakening, or I didn't really meet him, but I came in contact with him at the Inner Awakening, sort of. So that's my takeaway from that. Like, we learned a lot of cool things. I learned Vedic Hinduism, how to practice it, the whole yoga practices and all that stuff, and ate some good food and didn't get much sleep and was up all hours of the day. But I took that as part of the training and paid a lot of money for it too. Some could say too much money, who? But that's another thing. It's like they're saying, okay, yeah, they're robbing people all this money. It's like you could
People kind of choose to go.
well, yeah, you do. You can not go. I mean, I don't know. But at the same time, you could easily look at it and say, well, why is it so expensive? You're trying to teach people how to be enlightened. Why does it have to cost so much money? So you can see both sides to that pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess for me, I kind of saw it as, I don't know. I feel like back in the day, if you went to see a guru or an enlightened teacher of some sort, you'd have to travel like over mountains or something, for days and days to get there. If you got there and you weren't dead, you got there, then you actually deserve to be there and learn from this enlightened master. Nowadays, you can just get on a plane. So I don't know. It's also all really your perspective. That's really what it comes down to,
Yeah.
And I can easily see how. That's another thing. I did meet this one girl. I met her at the Inner Awakening too. Briefly, I even spoke to her a little bit. So I kind of, I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird seeing someone. That's another thing too. So the whole thing is chopped down the middle, but also her own perspective has been chopped. Like, she was on one end of the spectrum, now on the complete opposite end of the spectrum of the whole thing. But it's really interesting. You have to ask me questions, otherwise I'm going to keep rambling.
Well, it was pretty interesting because she was a hardcore, full-on supporter. Like, hey, everybody, you should come here also. Now she's like, don't go there at all. Very interesting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that she's right or wrong or anything. It's just, it's so interesting. Like, that's really all I can say about it. It's really interesting. It really gives you perspective on perspective on the perspective of an individual. How literally, just based off how you want to see things, you can see an experience as the best experience of your life, or you can see it as the worst thing that ever happened to you. I guess I don't know, whether it really was. I mean, I don't know. I can't even say whether it really was or not, because even that's based on like how you perceive things.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that people need to, like, if you're bouncing between the two sides, is like take in that whole concept. There's gonna be polar sides, and there's definitely gray area all the way in between. It's like, it's whatever perception you want to have. You can see it however you want. It can be whatever you want it to be. It just is. It's just showing you that the world is changing, and you can have many points of view with any topic, any given situation.
Yeah, and then I don't know, cause like. Well, any other specific questions that you have for me, since I actually was at the programs? Or
not really.
Not really.
It's still, again, it's going to be perception.
My perception.
Yeah. So
well, I can't say I'm a pretty good judge of character. I take myself as a good judge of character.
That's what a lot of people say. Just pointing it out.
Well, I mean, I think. See, the thing is, like, I could definitely tell that there's some tensions there when I was there, and there's, like, a lot of competition, or not even competition, but I could sense some, like, minor, like, tension or competition between the people there, and obviously a lot of people were tired because they worked, like, a lot, and there were people that worked there, some of the volunteers and the Adinavasis, and they, like, you would see them, like, falling asleep. So the thing was she's saying about, like, they worked half to death or worked hard and they don't get any sleep or whatever. I mean, obviously that's true, but I think that's kind of what you sign up for, I think, when you go there. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can tell that if you go to one of the programs. Like, it's like you're trying to put you out of, I don't know.
Your comfort zone?
You're not even that. You're not even your comfort zone, but like.
Push your body to beyond limits that you thought were possible.
Yeah. You didn't realize you were capable of doing things this way until you actually do it this way. I learned quite a bit going there. Like, I feel like going to that was like my turning point in my awakening process, because we not only did I learn a lot as far as the scriptures and yoga and all of that, and different yogic practices and whatnot, but also uh, got to actually manifest powers, the third eye powers. Like I actually rolled like coconuts off my hand, and like I don't, because one, I don't know how you, is it a magic trick? Like how you can't fake that. Like I could feel it moving, the energy going through my third eye to the coconut, and it lifting up and falling off my hand, and that happened like more than 21 times in a row. So I know that he is helping people to manifest these powers. Um, yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Kind of just let people marinate on that and kind of figure out where you want to stand on these kind of situations and many situations that you'll come in contact with as the world is changing.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing about all of this is that this is happening for a reason. Like this isn't just happening because she found out some dirt on him and is finally gonna show everyone. Like this is a not just like I feel like this goes so deep into like the non-physical world and like the, you know what I mean, like a um
Yeah.
deeply like a spiritual thing that's happening here, this divide in consciousness and like people trying to figure out which way they want to go, making the road a little more clearer maybe for some people maybe making it more blurred or whatever, I don't know. But it's lining up quite a bit with just all the other changes that are going on, underlying changes that are going on in the shifting of consciousness in this world. And so I kind of just see it as that really, just in line with these massive changes that are happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I still would say, though, if you have it in your mind to go to a program like that, you should go before listening to even me or anyone else, what they have to say about it. You should experience it for yourself. But with that being said, I kind of sound like I'm trying to be like a salesperson here. But that goes with anything in life. I would say it about anything. If you have a desire to do something, don't take someone else's word for it. You should go and experience it yourself.
Absolutely. All right, that about wraps it up. Anything like that?
I don't think so.
All right.